Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip declares last night Mr. Discount Double Check ran away with the MVP award, but he still wouldn't get his vote. Shannon breaks down the AFC playoff picture and picks Andy Reid and check down Alex to advance to the Super Bowl. 9-time Pro Bowler John Lynch gives his thoughts on how far Skip's Cowboys can go in the playoffs. Plus, Joel Klatt drops in the studio to give us his prediction and score for the College Football National Championship game next Monday. Skip and Shannon, let's debate. Let's start with last night's battle in the NFC North. After the Packers lost in Week 11, Aaron Rodgers said, quote, "I feel like we can run the table." And they did. Green Bay won their sixth straight, beating the Lions 31-24 to win the NFC North. Rodgers threw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. He has not thrown an interception since mid-November. Shannon, how impressive was Rodgers last night?
He brought the doctor's bag out last night, Skip. You saw his full arsenal. You saw him roll to the right, throw a touchdown, which shouldn't be very difficult because he's a right-handed quarterback. You saw him throw a touchdown from the pocket. Hey, we know what he is. He can be a pocket passer when he needs to. But when he's rolling to his left, and that's the hardest throw for a right-handed quarterback to make because a lot of time he has to open his hips. Skip, he can make throws that no other quarterback in this league can make, and it's so effortless when he does it. He's backpedaling on a throw to Quarles. Slides slightly to his left. Not Quarles, Allison, excuse me.
Yep.
Allison. Slides slightly to his left.
Yep.
He throws the ball. Look at this, Skip. Look at this. You got to see this.
I actually saw it too many times already, but go ahead.
Skip. He's sliding slightly to his left.
Yeah.
He throws this ball off 1 foot. I recommend, and all quarterback coaches would recommend, unless you're Aaron Rodgers, don't ever, ever, ever do this. Skip, he's special. People do not realize how special this young man is.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. No.
Oh, please.
No.
Don't start with
because
that.
Skip tries to minimize it. But see, not only is he great, Joy, he's historically great. You know how he ended the season, right, Skip? 40 touchdowns led the league, 7 INTs. Only twice in his 9-year starting career has he had double-digit touchdowns. And one of them was the first year he started. He threw the ball exceptionally well. His legs is what really separates him from some of the other all-time greats. Yeah, there have been a lot of quarterbacks that could run better than he could. Randall Cunningham could run better than he could. Michael Vick, Cam Newton. There are a lot of guys. But when you combine this total package of Aaron Rodgers, his legs, his arms throwing from right, left, changing arm angles, nobody can touch him. And second of all, the reason why they're going to be a dangerous team, Skip, over the last 6 weeks, they've turned the ball over once. Their defense has gotten them 15 turnovers. When you can do that, you give this young man extra possessions. I don't care who your defense is. You give him extra possessions, he will carve you up. He had the Ginsu out, and it was sharp. I told you what was going to happen. If it comes down to all the marbles are on the ground, and you got Aaron Rodgers and you got Matthew Stafford. Hold up. Did we bet a case to do on this?
On what?
On this game?
No.
Are you sure?
Heck no. I didn't bet you on this game.
I think so. I think we did, but that's okay. That's okay. I ain't got nothing else to say. One more thing, Skip. One more thing before I go.
Something about Alabama?
No. We're going to talk about Alabama later.
All right.
Do you know when the Packers, they're 10-1 when the defense doesn't give up 30 points? If you just hold them to 29 or below, Aaron Rodgers will do the rest for you. That's all he needs.
Okay. Now, are you finished?
I'm done.
What did you say to start off your soliloquy about he had the doctor's bag out?
He had it out.
I needed it in my living room last night because I was sick of watching Aaron Rodgers do what he did, and I hear you. But I want to remind you that on Friday I sat right here and I said they're going to win this game big, not as big as I thought they would, but that Aaron Rodgers would run away with the MVP last night, and I believe he did. He's not my MVP. I got Dak Prescott by a hair over Tom Brady. And by the way, is he now your MVP? Because I think that's where you're heading, right?
No.
Wait, he's all-time special and he's not your MVP?
I got my Class 5 license. I'm a bus driver. I've been on his bus since mid-October. Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Oh, your neighbor, just because he's your neighbor.
No, ain't no just because.
Yeah, I got it. That's okay. I got it. But what happened last night was on the NBC telecast, Al Michaels mentioned it early. I'm not ripping Al Michaels. I'm just saying he suggested that maybe Aaron Rodgers is the MVP, and I believe the bandwagon rolled from there because Aaron Rodgers gets more passes than he throws, and he has gotten an all-time Hail Aaron of a pass for what happened the first 10 games of this regular season when that team fell to 4-6. And then he got on a roll, and all I've heard about is...
Called his shot.
He called his shot. He guaranteed... No, he didn't guarantee. Wait a minute. He didn't predict it. He said, I feel like we could run the table. Is that a prediction? Is that a guarantee? Help me out here, because maybe I'm not parsing the words enough. Maybe in Aaron Rodgers' language, that's a guarantee. Is that how you took it? You actually analyzed... Help me out here.
I'm not trying to decipher.
Yeah.
See, you tried to get inside.
Yeah.
He had him a nice little glass of scotch, probably
I think
on the
that's
rock.
what happened.
Probably on the rock.
that sweater?
Chill.
Yeah.
He probably was chilling from the fireplace with
Yeah.
Olivia Munn. Like, baby, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this.
So what was he supposed to say? I feel like we can finish 4-2. What quarterback would say that? What quarterback would say anything else but I feel like we can win them all down the stretch? They had to win them all or they were going to miss the playoffs. And they won their last 6, and it was impressive. And I give it up, but he just ran away. Well, he just ran away with an MVP he does not deserve. That's what happened because of the first 10 games. But he even had his Heisman moment, and it was the play. This is his MVP moment, obviously. But
Can we see it?
Yeah, we got to see it.
We got to see it. I got to see it.
Once again, Detroit allows Aaron Rodgers to do exactly what you can't allow him to do. Don't let him get outside the pocket. Don't let him get outside the pocket. Whoosh, there it is to the kid, Geronimo Allison. He gets free. He came uncovered for about the 3rd time on the play. What did the play last, like 24 seconds? I mean, how long can DBs cover? I don't know. But if you let him get outside, he's going to do this. He's going to his left, as Shannon Sharpe said. Do you know how hard it is for a quarterback to throw going to his left? He's special. He's all-time great. That will be his Heisman moment. That will be his MVP clincher that we will see again and again and again. God bless you, Aaron Rodgers. But now I'm going to get to the turning point of the game that was vintage Aaron Rodgers. Do you believe that all the way down to the 5-minute mark, 5 minutes and 26 seconds remained, it was still, believe it or not, 23-17 Green Bay.
Yep.
Only a 6-point lead. And they faced 3rd and 10 at the Detroit 48. Do you remember this play?
I do.
And it was vintage Aaron Rodgers trick play. Can you explain to me, if he's all-time special, why Aaron Rodgers has to resort and reach for the quick snap to get DeAndre Levy before he gets off the field? I'm not sure he got him before he got off the field because I never saw a great replay of this.
There it is,
I'm
right
not
there.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. The ball hadn't been snapped yet. So my point is, he's done this routinely through his career.
So has Tom Brady.
Yeah, he has not.
Yes,
they don't
he has.
do that.
Yes, they do.
This guy's the trickster of the century. That's all. He tricks everybody. He's looking to dupe you. It's a gotcha play. Really? Is he? If you're that good, nobody.
No,
a quarterback
stop it,
that
Skip.
great doesn't have
Stop
to.
it.
And by the way, incomplete on that pass to Jordy Nelson.
It was.
So they were going to have to punt to a team that has won 8 times in the 4th quarter coming back. And I believe that Matt Stafford would have then taken the ball wherever he was, at his 20 or his 10 or wherever the punt wound up, and he would have gone the other way and won the game. It was perfectly set up for it. But nope, gotcha. You got 12 men on the field. Yep. Then it became 3rd and 5. He flipped it to Ty Montgomery. He went for 9 yards. Yep. And then boom, 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 they go right down the field and score. And it's 31-17, and it was over. So if that's who you want for your MVP, God bless all of you.
Can I ask you a question?
Seriously.
But see, here's the problem. You say, well, Aaron Rodgers used trickery. If he's so good, he shouldn't have to use trickery.
Yeah.
Well, in the AFC divisional game, the New England Patriots were tied with the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. They threw a trick pass. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady threw it to Edelman. Yep. Edelman threw it to Amendola. Mm-hmm. But you got no problems with that.
Okay, but that's just a trick play. That's not trickery. That's not trying to get you. I got you. I got you with 12 men on the field. Hurry, snap me the ball, snap me the ball.
The only thing you did is that you left off the ERY. It's the same thing. Trickery play. That's what it was. But it goes to help them win a ball game. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers' job, I love how he is magic because somehow the ball magically leaves his hand, and the next thing I know, it's magically in someone else's hand on his team in the end zone. He has 40 of those. Skip, you keep on the first 10 games, he was terrible. In the first 10 games, Joy, he had 25 touchdown passes. That's more than Dak Prescott had in the whole season.
Why do you have to tell Joy? Because you know I won't listen to you. That's
I'm talking to Joy. I can
right?
talk. Look,
yeah, I'm not. My ears are closed over here.
Skip.
Yeah.
Joy. Dak Prescott had less total touchdowns in 16 games than Aaron Rodgers had in 10 games.
Yeah.
But he was terrible. Yeah. See, that just goes to show you, Skip, think about this, Skip. He's such an all-time great talent that in 10 games, you said he was terrible and he had 25 touchdowns. How many other quarterbacks played the entire season that did not have 25 touchdowns? But then he goes on a streak. He says, you know what? Probably had a little on the rocks. I wonder what he drinks on the rocks. Skip, what do you think? You think he drinks Doers?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, okay. I think it was Doers. Maybe a little Maker's Mark. I mean, what do you think he drank? But anyway, what it was, he said, you know what, Olivia, they probably the fireplace toasting, they had crackling, and because you know it's cold in Wisconsin this time of year, probably crackling. He's sitting in front of the fireplace with him and Olivia Munn. They all hugged up.
See, Joy, what is happening right now is Shannon is using the same sleight of hand that Aaron Rodgers has to resort to trick the defense into 12 men on the field. It's the same idea.
You know you can't have 12 men on the field, so why do you have them out there?
Yeah, because everybody substitutes, but Aaron Rodgers, gotcha. Oh, I gotcha.
Listen,
that's high and mighty.
If the offense substitutes, the defense can substitute, and the umpire will hold the play up. But the defense, you don't get to substitute and try to hold the offense up. Aaron Rodgers said, give me that ball. Give me that ball right quick.
If you had any guts, you would switch your MVP right now to Aaron Rodgers.
No.
If you had any guts.
You made a pretty good case for him.
Yeah, you did. Come on.
Matt Ryan.
Well, have the courage of your convictions.
Matt Ryan has 38 touchdowns.
All-time great special,
and
MVP, 25. What'd you tell me?
25 touchdowns.
25 touchdowns? MVP,
Skip.
right?
Do you know who ended the year number one in QBR? I'll give you one guess.
Matt Ryan did.
Say it.
And you know why he did?
Whoa!
Because Dak Prescott was so great, so long, that he clinched the number one seed before the last week. He didn't have to play for anything yesterday. So Dak Prescott got handicapped by not playing yesterday and fell to third in QBR after he led it all year long, and he should be the MVP.
Matt Ryan leads the league in QBR, lead the league in passer rating.
No mercy. Talk about the AFC playoffs. The Patriots clinched the 1 seed and home field throughout yesterday. They have a bye in the first round. The Chiefs won the AFC West and also have a bye. The Steelers will host the Dolphins. That'll be a dilemma for me. And the Texans host the Raiders next weekend. Skip, how will it play out in the AFC?
Who did I tell you was going to win the AFC West? What did I tell you was going to happen?
Did you tell me that Derek Carr was going to break his leg in the penultimate week of the season, second to last? If you had predicted that, I'd give it to you, but I'm not going to give you this one because the Raiders would have won with Derek Carr. You know it, and I know it. It was the saddest story of the year, in fact, in several years in pro football, that Derek Carr went down. He was the spiritual leader, heart, soul. The driving force of that whole football team was that quarterback, and he went down, and now they're not the same. Nope. And so backing into the division title were the Kansas City Chiefs. I give it to you.
They didn't back in.
Yeah, they did.
They went on the road and beat San Diego.
Oh, wow, that's really great.
They swept the Raiders.
Hey, San Diego.
They swept the Broncos.
San Diego beat Matt Ryan at Matt Ryan. I don't know.
And Eli beat the Giants. And Eli beat the Cowboys. With a wet football and when it was dry. Beat them both times. Doesn't matter how the ball.
By 1 point and 3 points.
Threw a soccer ball and got it.
I like the Cowboys to win or to get to the Super Bowl, but I love the Patriots to get to the Super Bowl. In fact, I think this is a lock. I'm going to call it a done deal that the Patriots are going to win the AFC. They have the best quarterback easily. They have the best defense, which is a shock to me.
So I get the field. You got the Patriots, I get the field.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got the best defense. You can have the field. In fact, I'll do it right now for a case of dew. If you want the field, I'll give it to you. You want it?
We'll see. Go ahead and make your argument.
I thought so. I thought you were angling for a case of dew there. Best quarterback, best defense, best coaching staff. And they get to start with a divisional round game against a quarterback named Tom Sawyer. No, I'm sorry, it's Tom Savage. I actually like Tom Savage. Or maybe it's Osweiler, or maybe it's Matt McGloin, or maybe it's Connor Cook. I don't know which of those 4 quarterbacks, but one of those 4 quarterbacks is going to have to play at New England. Am I right about that?
Absolutely.
So that's basically another bye week for the New England Patriots. And again, I think Pittsburgh, I don't think it'll be easy because I told you I like Matt Moore, but I think Pittsburgh will be able in Pittsburgh to hold off the Dolphins. And maybe Ajayi goes crazy. He's done it to Pittsburgh before, but it'll be an interesting game to watch. But I think Pittsburgh will survive that game. I do not think Pittsburgh will survive at Kansas City. So I got Kansas City then going to New England for the AFC title.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go again, same time next year, except last year it was in the divisional round. But Kansas, or was it first round? No.
It was the division.
Divisional round, yeah. So last year it was 27-13 when Kansas City scored with 1:13 left to cut it to 27-20. So the final score last year looked a little misleading to me because the Patriots basically dominated the Chiefs, and now the Patriots are much better than they were a year ago. I think Tom Brady's playing at a higher level. His offensive line is much, much better than it was when they wound up in Denver last year.
I agree.
The defense, and I got to give Bill Belichick this, it's just sensational right now. It's become a shutdown defense without a big-name star, and that's pretty hard to do. But this is the best defense in pro football. And this receiving core, and by the way, I abhor drunk driving, and Malcolm Floyd's going to pay his price for drunk driving. But listen, he added depth to the receiver core. Did you see the plays he made yesterday? He made 2 strong plays. He powered through 3 Dolphins at the goal line for a touchdown, slammed it on the goal line, and then that block that he threw, you want to talk about a bone crusher to free up Edelman. So he adds to a receiver core, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but no Gronk, no problem. Gronkowski, we know he's one of the all-time beasts, but I don't think they're missing him that much. They miss him some, but not that much. So I think Kansas City is obviously better with Tyreek Hill, who has track speed. But you know what Bill Belichick does best, what he's always done the best? He will take away your game changer. Whoever your difference maker is, Belichick will take him away. So I'm sure Kansas City will battle. And I'm also sure that Tom Brady will win this game by 2 touchdowns. On to Houston for Tom Brady. He won 1 Super Bowl there, his 2nd Super Bowl. And he has been on a mission, I've told you, from the start of the year. He wants to see Roger Goodell hand that trophy to Robert Kraft. He got framed and railroaded on Deflategate, and he wants the commissioner to eat it. And that's what's going to happen.
Can we stop bringing about we ask who's going to be the representative?
I'm just telling you the motivation.
Nobody wants to care about the motivation.
It's a done deal. Patriots, you can have the field.
I got the Steelers to beat the Dolphins. Now, I know the Dolphins ran wild. Jay Ajayi ran for over 200 yards against the Steelers. Ben was hurt. He played as long as he could, but he wasn't the same Ben Roethlisberger. He had no mobility.
That's
and
true.
The Dolphins won that game.
Yep.
I believe this will be a different story. I believe the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, will not allow Ajayi to run the ball with the conviction that he ran the ball.
You're probably right.
Put the ball in Matt Moore's hand. Let's see if he can beat us.
Yep.
Now, the Texans and the Raiders. You got Brock Osweiler. You got Tom Savage. You got Matt McGloin. You got Connor Cook. It's like, do you want to eat grasshoppers or crickets? Because both of them are awful. Because that's what you got. I'm going to take...
You ever eaten a grasshopper or cricket? I don't know if they're awful. I've never tried them before.
Take my word for it.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm going to take the Houston Texans for the simple fact they're at home. They do have a defense. They can get after you. Merciless, Jadeveon Clowney. They can put pressure on.
Yep.
And we saw yesterday that Matt McGloin or Connor Cook, their hopes, you could tell, Skip, when Derek Carr went down and he says it's broken, it's broken, it's broken. My leg.
He said broke. But
yeah.
You know,
you could see the air.
it just went out. Yep.
They knew.
I know.
It was over.
They knew.
It was over.
Yep.
They weren't going to Denver and win, which I knew they couldn't. They weren't.
Although I thought they were going to play Paxton Lynch, and it seemed like Gary Kubiak said, "No, I'm going to win this game."
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going out.
Right.
I'm not going out with an L. I'm going out with a dub.
Right.
So
I mean, why would he prepare for the future when this is his?
Yeah. I'm preparing for right now.
Correct.
And so I'm going to take the Texans over the Raiders. I'm taking the Steelers over the Dolphins.
Got it.
Obviously, I don't even really want to talk about the Patriots playing the Texans, so I'm going to spend all my time on the Steelers in Kansas City. Now, we know what happened earlier in the season. Kansas City went to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh blew them out of the water.
Just annihilated them.
This is a different team now.
I agree.
I got Kansas City beating Pittsburgh because this Tyreek Hill, you're going to have to punt the ball at some point in time. Or if you're scoring, you're going to have to kick the ball. So Coach Belichick, if and when they get to that point, Coach Belichick's probably going to have his punter punting as far as you can and punt it out of bounds.
I agree.
Gostkowski, you kick this ball out of the end zone. There is not going to be any pop-ups trying to pin them down inside the 5. You don't want to run that risk. But with the Steelers go to Kansas City, they can get after the quarterback pretty good, especially in their building. And that big tight end, Travis Kelce,
he's good.
He's going to be the all-pro tight end this year. He's a faster Gronkowski. Now, he's not the blocker that Gronk is, but as far as running the routes, sinking his hips, he has looser hips than Gronkowski. He's a big, big man that has speed.
He does.
He can get down the field in a hurry. And so I like he and Tyreek Hill in this matchup. The Kansas City Chiefs will advance to go to Foxborough.
Okay, and here we go. This is it. This is your moment of truth on this show. This is since September 6th. We've been building toward this moment.
They're in the AFC West. The Raiders was number 1. We hated them. And 1B, 1A was the Chiefs.
Yep.
But Skip, they're going to spring the upset.
You did it.
They're going to spring the upset.
You did it.
I can't believe I can't believe I'm taking conservative Andy Reid and check down Alex.
You got him.
But Tyreek Hill gets a punt return.
Okay.
They make one big play to Travis Kelce, and Kansas City advances.
Kansas City is going to beat Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Yep.
So instead of Cowboys Patriots in the Super Bowl, we're going to have Falcons and Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Red. I see red. I see red. It's the year of red. It's the year of red.
I might not show up in Houston.
You got to be there.
I'm seeing red for a different reason.
Yeah, me too. Shannon Sharpe just did it. And he will never live to tell about this after Houston, Texas this year in the Super Bowl.
Amazing.
Thank you for doing that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
I know the Dolphins not winning.
Listen, we'll see. It'll be an interesting game. It'll be an interesting
I
game.
can't believe you're Benedict Arnold.
It's a very tough dilemma for me. I grew up in Pittsburgh.
Gertrude
I love the
Rosenberg.
Dolphins. It's difficult. I can't believe you just said that. My head is spinning.
I mean, Skip loves the favorite. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Loving the favorite.
Hold on just a second.
He picked him before the season started.
Both of them, and now they're both the 1 seed.
He picked
Cowboys,
them before the season
Patriots.
started when Tom Brady was out for 4
I
games.
don't believe. Let's see. Both 1 seeds went last year. Carolina, Denver.
Yeah.
This is the 6th time
Last
the
3
Patriots are a
years.
1 seed, and they've made it to the Super Bowl in 4 of the 5 previous times.
No mercy.
The Cowboys head into the playoffs as the top seed in the NFC. Dak Prescott started and played 2 series yesterday in Philadelphia. Tony Romo then came in and threw a touchdown pass to Terrence Williams, and the Cowboys have 2 weeks to get ready for their first playoff game. We're joined by Super Bowl champion John Lynch, who called yesterday's Cowboys-Eagles game. Welcome, John. Happy New Year.
Back.
Good to be here. Happy New Year, guys.
John, what are the Cowboys' chances to win the NFC?
Well, I like them. I really do. I really believe that their toughest challenge is going to be in that divisional game. Green Bay is so hot right now. They're a challenge for everyone. I mean,
So you got Green Bay beating the Giants?
No, I do have Green Bay beating the Giants. I think that just the way they're playing, both offensively, what Aaron Rodgers has done, and that defense has really come together and gotten healthy. And it's a different defensive unit than the Packers have had in a long time. So I think that's the biggest challenge for the Cowboys in that divisional round. I got to tell you, though, having the Cowboys, I had them week 2 of this season, and then where they've come from that point, I was thoroughly impressed. I had no idea.
You had them at Washington?
At Washington.
Well, that was a pretty impressive comeback.
It was an impressive comeback, but that team has grown mightily since that point. And, these guys, Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, yes, they're surrounded by greatness, but there's so many layers to that offense. They can beat you with the run. They can beat you with the boot. And then the last layer that I thought they did a great job of implementing, and it took a while, but getting Dez down the field. And, talking to Dak, a lot of that was the chemistry. Dez is a tough guy to throw to because he's not open. There's not great separation.
No.
So it's got to be fine, and you've got to understand his body language. And Dak said, he admitted, that took a long while, but I think that was the last component. It makes them tough. Now, look, is their defense great? No, it's not great. I don't even think.
Is their coordinator great?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Rod Marinelli.
He's a
you
terrific
played for him.
coordinator. what scares me if I'm thinking about them is that they don't have a game record. The closest thing they have the last couple of weeks is this David Irving, who's been looking like
good.
Deacon Jones. I mean, he's been incredible. Sean Lee, I have the ultimate respect. He's an excellent football player. Is he a guy you say we have to account for, or he's going to kill our game plan?
I mean, Skip said he's the best middle linebacker in football over Kingsley.
He's not middle. He's not middle. He goes all over the place. He can
He's
cover.
middle. He's Will. He's He's having that kind of year. I just don't know if he's that. But you know what? They possess the ball so long, it kind of bails that defense out.
Right.
And that defense does the little things extremely well. They don't turn the ball over on offense, so they don't put the defense in bad spots. It's an impressive group. That Green Bay-Dallas game, that's going to be one for the ages, I really believe.
And that's what I'm feeling. I believe that the Packers will beat the Giants. Because the Giants, if you really look at them, basically for the last 6 or 7 weeks, they've been 1 or 2 plays to Odell Beckham Jr., and that's it. Yeah. They don't really run the ball particularly well. Now, they did run the ball against the Washington yesterday, but Washington defense against the run isn't very good. Because we saw Carolina run the ball for almost 200 yards against them. And then, I don't know if you called any Atlanta Falcons games this year, but their offense is legit. They can run the ball with Freeman and Coleman. And Matt Ryan, he's been my MVP since October. I don't know how much he can't play any better than what he played this year.
That's a big boy effort yesterday.
But I will say this: if the Cowboys get by the Packers' offense, Atlanta's offense, I'll go ahead and concede they'll win the Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl?
If they beat both of those offenses, because as great as Tom Brady's playing, his offense is not as dynamic. They can't do what Green Bay and Atlanta can do on the foot. And
yes, they can.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
But
you're really underestimating the one guy you should not. That's Tom Brady.
No, I'm not underestimating Tom Brady. Tom Brady is all time great.
On a mission this year.
But so is Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan.
So, just for everybody's edification, just to remind everybody, Eli Manning is going to go to Lambeau Field as he's done twice in the playoffs and do it again. He's going to send Aaron Rodgers home. My house is on fire. But then that's going to send the Giants to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are finally going to get revenge for those first 2 losses. Lost by a point, lost by 3 points. I think the defense is playing at a higher level than most people give them credit for, because they're in the top 5 now in points allowed. And listen, to me, and I'm curious what you got from the coaches, but I still don't think Dak Prescott's getting enough respect for what he's pulled off against all odds this year, with Romo looking over his shoulder, with the owner looking over his shoulder. Romo had one big flash yesterday, and I'm sure some people out there said, see, there he is. He does throw the ball down the field, right?
Yeah.
So how did they put it in perspective for me, Dak's achievement this year?
I got to tell you, the one thing I've been impressed with the Cowboys, and we sit down in production. I'm a good friend of Jason Garrett, have been for years. They didn't tell me who was playing. They're being much more Patriot-like in their approach, and I think that's good. They're showing a lot of discipline. What is the value in that? I don't know, but I think there is value in the fact that they've been disciplined as an organization. I think it was a no-brainer that you had to play Romo. Shannon, I played 15 years in the league. In my 15th year, I'd come back from a bye week, and for the first 10 minutes, it felt like I'd never been on a football field. What's that? That's a hash? It's a rep sport, and it's a game rep sport. Right. Forget about practice. You can try to simulate it. So I felt like it was important enough, and the feeling I got from the team, they're past, is this going to become a big media circus? That's Dak's team right now. And I think Tony helped make that happen as much as anybody else, but more importantly, Dak did, with the way he played so consistently all year. You look at that offense, they're going to be tough to be stopped, and because they're going to run it versus anyone. They're going to possess it. Dak just does not make the big mistake. And like I said, I think that explosive nature, that's something special. I thought Romo going in and playing, you want your backup ready to play. He went in there, and I don't think he needed a whole half. I think sometimes you just need a little taste.
Yeah, I thought they were playing for a quarter, but as I was telling Skip, I think they liked what they saw. It's kind of like preseason. Well, Coach says, guys, if you look good, you get one series. If you don't, you're going to go another one.
That's right.
I think they liked what they saw with Tony on that one series, and they said he had been playing exceptionally well doing the scout team things. But, Skip, all things being equal, Green Bay and Atlanta would have a tougher time because their defenses do not have a guy that can match up with Dez. See, they can take Jackrabbit, Janoris Jenkins, and says, you got that guy.
Right.
And he can take him all over the field. And what goes unsaid, and you haven't noticed it lately, but Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie is playing lights out football.
Well, he's the one who picked off Kirk Cousins to basically end the game.
Now, the difference between he and Jenkins is that Jenkins is a press, in-your-face corner. Cromartie is an off clue. Turn, look inside, he's watching you, and he's watching the quarterback. But he has unbelievable quickness. And so that would be they don't really want to see the Giants. Trust me, they don't want to see that matchup because they win games.
You've been telling me the whole show they don't want to see Aaron Rodgers.
No,
so which is
no. I'm saying from an offensive standpoint.
Okay, I got it.
Defensively, the Giants will be a headache, maybe 100 headaches. Aaron Rodgers is just going to do, with that Ginsu. He got a nice long Ginsu. You saw him carve up that defense last night.
Yeah. Oh, so it was the same Aaron Rodgers who had a QBR of 35 on a scale of 100 against this Cowboy defense at Lambeau Field.
In week what?
It was week
6.
5, maybe. Well, they were 3-1 at that point. Green Bay was 3-1, and Dak Prescott went in and badly outplayed Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field, and it was 30-16 Dallas. So Aaron Rodgers managed 16 points against Rod Marinelli's defense. I think that was pretty great.
Played one of his worst games of the year.
Yeah.
That is not the way this this is the all-time historically great Aaron Rodgers we've seen over the last 6 weeks. Cowboys are not beating that Aaron Rodgers.
Can Aaron Rodgers play cornerback? Because they are down 3 or 4 cornerbacks, and they lost another one. Quentin Rollins got hurt last night. I hope he's okay. He rolled over on his neck, and I think he's okay, but I don't think he's going to be able to play. So there's another one down. So they're just scraping it together in their defensive backfield. Really?
Hey, just play cover 2.
Play cover 2.
The Giants can't really run the football if you can't stop them with your front 7 because look, you don't want Odell Beckham singled up on any of the corners, no matter who the corners are. If they were 100% healthy, do you want Beckham Jr. on one of those corners in Green Bay one-on-one? No.
So you're saying I'm damned if I do or don't. I either get Aaron Rodgers or I get the Giants.
You said you want the Giants because you want them to right what 2 wrongs they've committed.
Yeah, and they will.
They will. And I want to be very clear. Look, I said I think Green Bay would be Dallas's toughest challenge. I think Dallas beats them both, though. I really do.
John Lynch says.
I think that Green Bay is going to be tough for anyone right now. But I do think that Dallas, I came away thoroughly impressed from this Dallas Cowboys team. Their mindset, their work ethic, they seem like they're in that zone of a championship team. They're putting egos aside. They're all towing the rope together.
Are you afraid Shannon Sharpe?
No.
This man knows what he's talking about.
I believe it. I love the Falcons because guess what? They play on a turf. They play in a controlled environment also.
Well, Skip, at least Shannon's being consistent with always picking against the Cowboys. No matter who the Cowboys play, he is going to pick the other team.
Done.
They will find a reason to pick the other team.
One and done.
No mercy. The Cowboys are the number 1 seed, which is why they didn't have to play their guys yesterday, Shannon, and have home field throughout. They have a bye in the first round this weekend. The Falcons are the 2 seed and have a bye as well. Saturday, the Seahawks host the Lions, and Sunday, the Packers will host the Giants on Fox. Skip, how will it play out in the NFC?
How will it play out, Skip?
I'm going to tell you exactly how it's going to play out.
How you hope it'll play out.
The New York Football Giants are about to eliminate a man who was just called from across the table all-time great, historically great, special, and the guy that I have already tabbed to be the next MVP of the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is about to lose to the New York Football Giants once again. And I loved it that Ben McAdoo just went ahead and played his horses yesterday, or last night actually, at Washington, because Eli Manning he's Favrean as an Iron Man. He's indestructible. Yeah. He's never missed a start. So Ben McAdoo's like, we'll just play. We'll stay hot. We'll stay right in sync. We'll stay right in our groove. And they went into Washington and knocked the Redskins on their back and right out of the playoffs, thanks to, of course, Kirk Cousins, as I predicted, turning right back into Kirk Cousins, right on schedule, another interception. You can count on it. Big game, big stage, late interception from Kirk Cousins, had a QBR of 20 on a scale of 0 to 100. Way to go. Pay him, Washington. I want to see him 10 times the next 5 years as a Cowboy fan. But now that the Giants have stayed hot, they're going to go to Lambeau, and Eli Manning is going to go to 3-0 in the playoffs at Lambeau Field. He knocked out Brett Favre in overtime. Remember that game on the way to his first Super Bowl? And he knocked out the historically great Aaron Rodgers. Eli did on the way to his second Super Bowl. And I believe that this is not going to be an upset, even though Green Bay's favored by 4 points. I think the Giants are just a better overall football team than Green Bay is right here, right now. That Giants defense, since week 6, and you have lauded and applauded them all year on this show, since week 6, when they took off, they are tied for first in fewest points allowed in the NFL with the New England Patriots, just throwing that in. They're also first in third down efficiency. We're holding the other team on third down. Whew, that's pretty good. Last night, it seemed like they discovered a running back. He's been coming along each game. Paul Perkins, he got 102. I know Washington have a great run defense, but all of a sudden, Odell seems to be on his best behavior. And I appreciated the fact he did not let Josh Norman get under his skin and into his head last night. And he was pretty good. He'll make 2 or 3 plays a game, which is really all they need on offense. And I believe they will go in to Lambeau Field, and all of a sudden, Aaron Rodgers is going to look around and say, my house is on fire. Right? Okay. That's what he's going to say. He's going to start to go like this. Wait, my house is on fire. Uh-oh, you're in trouble. You need to call your insurance man now because your house is on fire. Because that's his house, right? It's going to be on fire with Eli Manning. He's going to light it up.
Oh, now all of a sudden you're Eli Manning fan.
Yeah, I love Eli. I got to get my cutout in here.
Oh, you love Eli now.
And down goes Aaron Rodgers, and I'm going to get what I have wanted for weeks on end. I want the New York Football Giants at Jerry World with a dry football in a game that is win or else, because the third time will be the charm for my Dallas Cowboys. They finally will avenge the first 2 losses. First one, obviously, the first start of Dak's career as a rookie first-timer. I thought he played well enough to win the opening game against Eli. It was 20-19. Wet ball. Eli made 1 throw. Dak couldn't make any throws. The only game all year he was inaccurate.
What about the first game of the year?
I said, Dak played well enough to win that game.
But they didn't.
Huh?
They didn't.
But he did. But 2 drop touchdown passes.
Now it's Dak, and then it's the Cowboys.
Two drop touchdown passes by Dez Bryant, one by Measly Beasley right at the 2-yard line. You remember them both. Okay. So this is it. This is the one. Third time will be the charm. I think Dallas is spoiling for this game. They're going to be rested, and the Giants are going to come in there having played now the equivalent of 3 straight road playoff games, because that was a playoff game in Washington last night. So they're going to be a little beat up. They're going to be a little worn down, and my team's going to be fresh, and my guy Zeke is going to attack, and my guy Dak has a score to settle with the Giants' defense, and he will do that. And meanwhile, on the other side, I think Seattle will survive Detroit, and I believe Seattle will go to Atlanta and will not survive Atlanta. It'll be a rematch and a grudge match. I thought Matt Ryan should have won the game, obviously, at Seattle. Bad call. Should have been called on Richard Sherman. And I believe that your MVP, if you're still sticking with it, Matt Ryan, will pull it out, because Seattle has been teetering all year, and they'll get only as far as that divisional round game in Atlanta, which will bring the Atlanta Falcons to Jerry World for the NFC Championship game, and they will not have a prayer, because their defense is now 25th in the league in points allowed. And the reason they won't have a prayer is that Dallas will win a game of keep away with that defense, because it'll be Zeke, it'll be Dak converting third downs. They will control the football. They will win time of possession, 36 minutes to 24 minutes, and they will keep your MVP too much on the sidelines and win the game with a defense that has come alive. My defense can rush the passer now, because all of a sudden there's David Irving. DeMarcus Lawrence has been arrested. I think he'll be back and ready to go. If Randy Gregory doesn't get suspended, and I don't know how that's going to shake out in the next week or so, they have 3 stud pass rushers now, and they will create some heat on Eli and then on Matt Ryan. And Dallas is going to Houston for Super Bowl 51. Thank you very much.
This game, the Giants against the Packers, they do scare me, because defensively, they can rush the quarterback, and they got Jack Rabbit will be back.
Jack Rabbit?
Yeah, I'm assuming that
Who is that?
You know Janoris Jenkins.
Oh, I thought you meant Zach Zinner. He's the Jackrabbit.
No.
He went to South Dakota State. They're the Jackrabbits, right?
Janoris Jenkins.
Oh, Janoris Jenkins.
The one that sent us dead, the 2 catches for 16 yards and a fumble.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah.
Dez has a little score to settle,
They call him the Warden, because he locked people up.
Okay.
Ask Dez about him. But anyway,
I will.
This game does scare me a little bit, Skip. I'm not going to lie about that. But I thought that Ben McAdoo played his starters on offense. He couldn't rest them. How is he going to rest them when they've been not clicking all year long? So you're going to give them a week off after they've been basically they're a big play offense. They get one play, maybe two to Odell Beckham, and they turn it over to the defense.
Yep.
But here's the thing. When you play that style of football, if you do that in the playoffs and you turn it over, because we know Eli has a propensity to turn the football over. As you mentioned, he's very Favrean in that aspect. Also got a lot of Phillip Rivers in him, because Phillip Rivers, he loved turnovers. Apple, cherry, football, it doesn't even matter. As long as it's a turnover, he'll eat it. But anyway, I like Aaron Rodgers. I love what I'm seeing, Skip. They're playing, this is as good as he can play. And he plays like this, they're going to get the job done. I agree with you. Lions are not going to Seattle and beating Seattle. Russell Wilson is 4-0 at home in the playoffs. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time. But this is what I've been waiting for. Because I know, Zeke went to Lambeau Field. Did you see Zeke? You seen Dak attack.
I did.
Aaron Rodgers has been pining. He's been waiting for this day. Because, that was in week 6 when they beat the Packers. You do realize that.
Yeah.
Also, in week 6, the Minnesota Vikings were 5-0, and a lot of people were thinking about them as a serious Super Bowl contender. They finished 8-8. I'm just going to show you that was long.
You're still representing.
That's long time
You're still
ago.
representing
That
for
could be
the Vikings,
Ravens
right?
purple, I guess, right?
Oh, it could be Ravens, yeah.
You want a jacket like
You got 2 teams that missed the
Skip.
playoffs.
Skip. Do you want a jacket like? Do you want a jacket like this?
I don't.
I'll get you one. All you got to do is say, "Hey, home team, get me a jacket like
Well,
this."
Skip, he said he was wearing the black shoes. You only wear them to funerals and weddings, right? Is that what it is?
That's it.
So maybe it's his two teams. He's laying them to rest since they're not in the playoffs. No, that's not what it is.
And Seattle, I also agree. Seattle will go to Atlanta. Atlanta will get an opportunity to exact a wrong that happened to them in Seattle. Julio Jones, with that rest, he'll be back because he looked good yesterday. Matt Ryan, he couldn't play any better. The first half, 5 drives, 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdown passes. He can't play any better than that. But the thing that goes unnoticed is that Atlanta Falcons can really run the football. Devontae Freeman and Coleman, they do an outstanding job of running the football. And then it's going to come Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan.
Wait, I got to get this straight. Your preseason pick was Seattle, and you're off the bandwagon completely. Just for the record, I got to know, right? You're done with it.
Skip, man, I want to stay with him, man. I want to stay with Atlanta, man, but God.
No, with Seattle.
I mean,
right?
with Seattle.
Yeah.
But Matt Ryan, what I'm seeing from Matt Ryan.
Okay.
Matt Ryan, man. You know what? I can't. I got to let him go.
Okay,
Skip.
so you can't go back.
I can't go back.
You just gave up for good. That's it. Once and for all, it's over.
I gotta let him go. Skip.
Okay, we got it. Did you get that?
I can't keep track.
Skip,
All right.
Skip, listen.
He was off the Steelers.
I know, Skip, who I promised.
Yeah.
I've been dating this girl for like 6 months. But the pretty girl, she said she would go to the dance with me also. So I got to take I'm sorry.
Dilemma.
It wasn't like I really loved her. But I mean, like, we was in like. But the pretty girl, I mean, when I
but you went on national television and said that you liked her.
I know. But when I show up with Scarlett Johansson or Halle Berry, they go like, oh, I understand why you did that, dog.
Yeah. You know what you remind me of?
What I remind you of, Skip?
I just bought Ernestine a little puppy for Christmas. We named her Hazel. She named her Hazel, a little Maltese. And she's a terror when she gets out of her pen. And if you throw her toys on the floor, she's got a ball, and she's got a little dog and a little bear and this little rope toy. And she just goes to one, and she'll stay for like 3 seconds, and then she looks around and says, there's another one. And then she says, there's another one, and there's another one. And she can't stay for more than 5 seconds with one toy. And it reminded me of Shannon with his picks, because you go to the next toy the next week, and this toy and that toy and that toy.
I told you Matt Ryan in October was going to be the MVP. And I've been with Matt Ryan. Dak was doing his thing. Zeke was running over everybody. Even when Aaron Rodgers, I said, look, don't bury the guy just yet. The only problem I had, Skip, with Aaron Rodgers is that when they lose, it was his receiver's fault. They couldn't get open. Now he's making those pinpoint throws because the throw that he threw to Allison wasn't open. The dude was on top of him, but he fit the ball in there. The touchdown pass to Adams, he wasn't open. He just fit the ball in there.
Okay.
But that's just the way it goes.
Okay, so keep going with your picks now.
So
Okay.
it comes down to the 2 MVP candidates, Aaron Rodgers and Matt Ryan.
So you definitely have Aaron Rodgers winning at Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a done deal.
Done deal.
Okay, all right, got it.
I've been said that.
Okay, I got it.
I
just
was on.
want to make sure.
I was on.
I want to, because I lose track sometimes.
No, you didn't lose
okay,
track.
so Aaron Rodgers eliminates
Beats the Cowboys in the divisional round.
Got it.
Okay.
The two MVP candidates
So
with
now-
a chance to go to Houston.
Now Aaron Rodgers goes to Matt Ryan, and what happens?
I got to ride with my neighbor.
You got to go with the neighbor.
He's gonna get. And I know last time the Atlanta Falcons also beat Green Bay, and Green Bay got an opportunity to come back, and Aaron Rodgers went on that run.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt Ryan's going to change it. He's going to change it, Skip.
Okay. Do you remember what happened on Aaron Rodgers' one run to the Super Bowl when he went to Atlanta? Remember that game seems like it was on a Saturday night? He just
Went through it like Sherman did, the South.
He did.
He did.
You got it.
But guess what? Cowboys are one and done.
One and done in the playoffs. So let me remind you that even though it was, as you said, week 6?
Yep.
Green Bay was 3-1 at that point when the Cowboys went to Lambeau. And, of course, Shannon Sharpe sat across from me and said, want to bet a case of dew on it? I said, you got it, a case of dew. At Lambeau, Dak Prescott had a QBR of 70, and Aaron Rodgers had a QBR of, wait a second, a season-low 35, because Rod Marinelli understood if you just keep him in the pocket, just rush wide, make sure everybody stays in their lanes, make him throw it from the pocket, he can be pretty average from the pocket. And on this day, season-low QBR of 35, he was below average. 0 to 100, 35. Wow, that's what they did to Aaron Rodgers. That's what Dak Prescott did, outplaying Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau Field, 30-16 Dallas.
History will not repeat itself.
Yeah.
You still forget that the Dallas Cowboys have the 26th ranked pass defense. Aaron Rodgers is on fire.
So is my Cowboy pass rush. It's quietly on fire thanks to David Irving.
I promise
Here
you,
he comes.
we will
He's
have
going to be in Aaron's back pocket.
We're going to have some dew on this one.
Yep, we're going to have some dew on this one.
lot of dew.
Except the problem is you're not going to have anybody to bet on because the dew is going to come this weekend at Lambeau Field when Aaron Rodgers goes down. My house is on fire.
Skip, the Cowboys will be one and done. They will be one and done.
They're going to beat the Giants in the first game and the Falcons in the second game.
Hold on.
Super Bowl. How are you going to stand going to Houston, Texas when Dallas, Texas is in the house? How are you going to deal with that?
Bonnie, my mic is acting up because Skip can't hear me. I'm saying the Cowboys will be one and done. So what part about that are you not understanding?
3 and done for my Dallas Cowboys.
They're not going to be 3 and done.
Yeah, they
one
are.
and done.
3 and done.
There's no such thing as 3 and done.
Yes, there
it's
is.
1 and done.
3 and done. You watch.
1 and done.
How are you going to deal with the whole Super Bowl week of Cowboy Nation in Houston,
I mean,
Texas?
I'm sure there'll be a few fans sprinkled in representing, because the Atlanta Falcons and whoever's going to represent the AOC.
That is going to be a rough week for you.
No mercy.
Defending champion Alabama beat Washington 24-7 on Saturday, and Clemson shut out Ohio State 31-0. This sets up a rematch of last year's epic national championship game. We're joined by Fox Sports college football analyst Joel Klatt. Welcome, Joel. Happy New Year.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks you for having me on this new year.
Well, we'll thank you depending on what you have to say, right?
He's already salty.
To be determined, yes.
He's already salty.
How much of a shot do you give Clemson against Alabama?
You know, after the way they played this weekend, I give them a great shot. Now, here's the difficult part is that they're going to have to duplicate an unbelievable defensive effort, and that's something that they haven't shown the propensity of doing. In fact, if you look at their numbers this year, the last three times I should say, they've given up a score or less. They've followed that up by giving up on average 38 points, including giving up 43 in the loss to Pitt. So they have not followed up great defensive efforts with great defensive efforts. So what I think is imperative for Clemson is to follow the blueprint that they've had offensively. This is where the game is going to be won or lost for the Clemson Tigers. Their blueprint since the loss to Pitt has been control the clock and run the ball. They've run it 10 more times per game for 220 yards rather than, 156 per game, right around there. So they've been controlling the clock, keeping their defense off the field. Before the Pitt game, their defense was on the field for about 32 and a half minutes per game. Now it's down to 28 and a half. That's where you win the game if you're Clemson, because that defense is going to have to be fresh. Because it's not going to be Ohio State trying to run sideways. It's going to be Alabama and Bo Scarborough coming right downhill on them, getting vertical. And that's where you can hurt Clemson's defense. So they're going to have to be rested. So again, it's all about the blueprint. Offensive coordinator Jeff Scott and Tony Elliott have got to be great in this game in the national championship.
I give them an excellent chance also because they're the only team in the country that I think can match Alabama's intensity in the front seven. They have guys that's going to be playing on Sunday on the defensive line and the linebacker position. We know what Alabama does. Coach Saban, he goes out and get guys to fit his 3-4 system. He says, I'm going to stop the run. I'm going to make you throw it. Now I get the tee off on you because once you give an opportunity, Ohio State couldn't stop anything. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't get pressure on Deshaun Watson. So you're basically at their mercy. You have to take something away. Most teams go into the game and say, look, we got to stop the run. We stop the run, we get an opportunity to pin our ears back, we can go get their quarterback. I don't see a 45-40 ball game. Now, I could be wrong because Clemson's defense gave up 28 points to Virginia Tech. You know, they gave up 43 to Pitt. Pitt lost their bowl game. Now, Virginia Tech did come back from a 24-0 against Arkansas. But when Coach Saban normally gets to these games, he's awfully tough to beat in the national championship game. That's why Joel and we co-signed. I had my name on top. He was up underneath, co-signed and said if it didn't come true, he could back me up. The best college coach in football is St. Nick Saban.
Right now. Yeah.
Wait, who got blown off the field by Urban Meyer's team in the national semifinal 2 years ago? How did that happen?
Joel,
I just saw Urban trot off after pitching a shutout, or throwing out a shutout.
The guy that calls his own plays, the greatest coach in college football today, he couldn't diagram one play to get his team in the end zone.
That's a blank sheet of paper. That's a big zero.
Yeah. Guess what's going to happen next Monday night?
You hope it.
Tonight.
What do you hope to happen, Skip?
I don't hope. Clemson is going to knock off Alabama and get revenge for 45-40 last year. Clemson, as I said on Friday, has been waiting all year for this game. They were looking ahead, especially their quarterback, Deshaun Watson, looking ahead all year to this game, which is a dangerous way to play the football season because their hearts never seemed in any one of those games that we talked about. They did just enough to get to the national semifinal, and then it was like, oh, now we can go. And I was not impressed with Alabama because I'm not impressed with Jake Browning in big games. We both said that on Friday.
Not impressed with Alabama.
I was not. Because Jake Browning, what happened against USC?
He watching the game we're watching?
Yeah, I was watching.
52-3, that's what happened to Alabama.
Wait a second. What happened to Jake Browning against USC at home? He was terrible. What happened against your Colorado Buffaloes? He was terrible. I know they won the game handily, but he was terrible. He was terrible in this game. He just was overmatched. I'm sorry he didn't belong on this stage against that team, and it made him look a lot better than they were. And then Jonathan Allen, who's a great defensive lineman, said Washington was soft. And they're not maybe soft, they're finesse. They're a West Coast finesse team. So it was a perfect matchup for Alabama, and I'm not impressed. I love Bo Scarborough, but I've loved him since the LSU game when he came in. Remember, he had a terrible knee injury his freshman year that kept him out the whole year. And then he tweaked it again against Kent State early this year, and then he tweaked it against LSU. But when you and I had a case to do on LSU, and it's 0-0 going to the fourth quarter, every time Bo Scarborough came in, I'm like, don't give him the ball because he's Russell Westbrook. He plays with this relentless rage. His body lean, I think he's going to be better than Derrick Henry because of the body lean, the way he just attacks the line of scrimmage. And he's not quite as big as Derrick Henry, but he's a little quicker acceleration. He is hard to get on the ground. That's the X factor to me, but it sounds like there's even some dissension in the ranks over Lane Kiffin. Will he take the play calling away from Lane and give it to Sark going into this game because they were so unhappy with the way the plays got called? I don't know, maybe.
I understand all of those things, but let me tell you why you're wrong and why Alabama is going to pull down their second national championship in the last 2 years.
Oh, you're already going on record.
I'm going on record. Alabama's going to win this game, and here's why. Clemson is a phenomenal football team, but they've turned the ball over 26 times. You know the first thing that leaves you as a quarterback when pressure starts getting put on you in your face? Your decision-making. You make poor decisions, and Deshaun Watson has shown a propensity to make poor decisions. He's going to give Alabama chances. That's why Alabama is going to score another non-offensive touchdown. When they do that, Unbeatable. Unbeatable. You cannot pick against Alabama if you have studied what Nick Saban does with this defense. It's too difficult for opposing offenses to sit there and get into a shootout and win because of the pressure put on them by that front seven. Over 50 sacks in this season. That's too much to overcome for Deshaun Watson. They're a great team, and he's a great player, but Alabama is just too good on that defense.
Who's the best receiver on the field coming up next Monday night?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is.
Calvin Ridley is.
I'll
about
take
as
Mike
good as
Williams any
anybody.
day.
Hold up.
Maybe a coin flip.
But you were telling Joel and I how good old Khaki Pants defense was.
Yeah, it was really good going in the Ohio State game. It was ranked #1 in the country.
What about Florida State? They had the lead. They had the lead, and Florida State turned right around and went right back down the field and got the lead from them against. And I say the mark of any
Against
great
Clemson, you mean?
No, I'm talking about Florida State against Michigan.
Oh.
That's why you
in the bowl game.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
in the
you're
bowl game.
losing me.
No,
we're off topic now.
no,
I don't
not
care about
necessarily.
that.
No,
I don't
because
care about that.
you keep saying everybody is a better coach, everybody has better defenses than Coach Saban, and all I know, he normally gives up 11.3, he gave up 7.
Yeah.
They normally get 260 rushing, he gave up 44.
To Washington. Seriously?
I mean, that's the 4th best scoring offense in the country.
but
This is a team that
way
was not stopped
overrated.
much.
Way
So
overrated.
was Ohio State.
Oh, please. Well, once they ran into the fireball that was Clemson, Clemson is loaded with talent on both sides of the ball.
Joe,
Did
did
you
Penn State play Ohio State this year?
They did.
Did they beat them?
They did.
So how does a team that didn't win their conference get an opportunity to play in the college playoffs?
A lot of brand involved in that.
Exactly.
A lot of equity involved
Michigan
in that.
should have been in, and that would have been a game.
What?
Michigan and Alabama, that would have been a headbang.
Joe, will you tell them they wouldn't have scored?
I'm still confused that you didn't think Alabama played all that well.
I did not think they played against Jake Browning. You said it yourself the other day. He doesn't play well in big games.
I said that he wasn't
Overmatched.
going to because of Alabama.
Yeah.
You see, you got to give Alabama credit for what they were able to do and able to accomplish in last week's
You know
game.
what?
This is going to be a great game coming up. By the way, I think it is going to be high scoring. I'll go 45-42 Bama.
You're
in a
doing it again
high-scoring
from
affair.
last year? Your
100%.
repeat of last year?
100%.
45 to 42? Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Whoa. It won't go in the 40s. It'll be in the 30s because Deshaun Watson is virtually unstoppable. In a big game, he's going to be clutch all night long. He can run. He'll run the ball. He and Gallman, they ran the ball in that defense last year. And that receiving core he has, he's got receivers everywhere.
They're a
they
great
have
team.
Firepower. And did you see that Cleveland Farrell come flying off the ball?
Alabama.
Terrific player. Now, he's not going to have a chance to do that because Urban Meyer and Ohio State were going side to side and giving him big lanes to run through from a defensive line perspective. Alabama's
How
going to
you
go
like
right
Jalen
at
Hurts? What was he, 7 for 14?
He only had to
in
throw
that game?
14 passes.
Wow, really?
He only had to throw 14 passes. He did what he needed to do to win the
He
game.
didn't play well. He didn't play well, but after Monday night, Alabama will be thought of as one of the greatest teams in college football because they will be the first team to win 15 games and be undefeated in a college season.
Good
And
luck with
St.
that.
Nick
Yeah.
will once again confirm what many of us already know. The greatest college, he wins this national championship,
Yep.
he'll be the greatest college coach regardless of sport.
You know what? If Chad Kelly had been the quarterback of the Washington Huskies on Saturday, we would be having a different conversation. Chad Kelly would have lit them up.
When did Chad Kelly become Tom Brady?
You know
in
what?
Skip's mind?
Well, all he did was throw for
like Leonard
400
Skinner?
and 400.
I do
Wait a
like
second.
Leonard Skinner.
Wait a second. He just put up. Wait, Chad Kelly put up 43 and 43 home and away
You
against.
think
Hello.
Chad Kelly could take any roster and beat
I think he
Alabama?
could take that one. Washington's
Those receivers wanted no parts. When Harrison broke on Pettis on that slant route, he's like, I'm done, coach.
Shannon, I'm very disappointed we didn't get any stank references this.
Ooh, that smell.
There you go.
No mercy.
This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening, everybody. A happy new year to all of our loyal listeners. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. We're back tomorrow when we're joined by Eric Mangini. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.